Hello everybody, I've got a fabulous new kit for you that's exclusive to our Highlight Crafts website. It's called Beneath the Blooms and it really is so delicate. It's perfect if you want to use it to make standalone cards, so freestanding where the shape of the design is the main focal point, or you could even put it on a card front. So I've got a couple of different designs to show you. I'm just going to talk you through them and we'll talk about what you actually get in the kit. So the first thing that we'll do is let's take a little look at some of these pictures. So one of the things I love about this collection is that when you're working with it, and you can see from this one, you can put any of your favourite scenes behind here. The steps, well, I'm going to show you how to make those dimensional, and you can make those steps as deep as you want. So I could keep extending this story, even if it was something like walking up to, let's say, for instance, the gates of the secret garden, or any of your other favourite scenes that could be at the top of those beautiful steps. Then we go into working with one of our shaped cards. So this one is actually using a label shape, but the actual outline of the blooms makes it perfect to lend itself to any shape. So first of all, we've got a plain label, and here I've got just an ordinary oval, and both of them, working with the same collection of dies, look stunning. This one then translates into an easel where the steps become not only the stopper but extended, so we take that story and we take the person looking at the card actually on a journey. And then we go completely freestanding. So taking those blooms, using them multiple times. So snipping into the dies so that you've got them layered up. The steps repeat either side by side, the little gate in there, and then you can fill it with any of your favourite animals. And we're looking at favourite animals. I've got another one here. Little rabbits sitting in the gateway, looking absolutely superb, ready to be able to fill the design and tell the story. And now I'm going to take you through working with some of the elements to build up the steps and also get added dimension. I'm going to show you how to cut into these to create an extra design and to get all of those other elements. So let's take a little look at what you're getting in this collection. So the first thing is the set of dies itself. So it's a set of 3 dies. They are so snippable. This is probably one of the most snippable collections that we've created. You've got the steps, you've got the gate, and you've got the bloom. So these are the 3 elements, and these are the reflections that are available from as a download from highlightcrafts.com. Now, I'm just going to slow down a moment for you because the excitement has been building. This is what it looks like when you start to build the design. And you can see that dimension, those layers are stunning. And what looks great is that these have actually been scored to create the dimension. I can't wait to show you that. So I've got lots of these already cut, and I'm going to be sharing with you how we're going to make those into some of the cards that you've just been looking at. So here is my piece of white card, which I'm just going to work with here. We've got lots of the elements already cut. So here are the steps. These are the blooms. So they're going to go directly over the top, and you can see there is the gate, and that's the first set already done for us. Now, the second one, which if we are working with, and you know how remiss of me, I actually haven't got my scissors with me. We'll get that put right in just a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this up by using our decoupage glue. My preferred choice is Pinflair glue gel. And I'm just going to talk you through this. It comes with a little metal seal on the end and the cap. So we're going to take the cap off, when we close it up at the end of our crafting session, we're going to leave it with a nice little bubble of glue. So you can see that bubble there. That stops air getting back into the tube and it actually hardening the gel that's just inside the neck of the tube. So that bubble will create an airlock in the design. Then the next thing that I do is I use my little glue tip applicator, and I use that to be able to apply the glue. So while I'm working and I'm waiting for the next application to be needed, I put my glue tip applicator in the end like that. My lid's there, that keeps it off the desk, and I'll just show you how I've got it there. So I keep my lid upside down, keep that like that. It stops that literally getting all over the desk, and it keeps it all actually in the right place. So right, I'm going to just do a little bit of snipping. I'm just going to snip into this by wiggling my scissors. And what you will notice with a lot of the 2 Red Robin dies is on the other side, it's very easy to see all the little cut lines. And they are there for 2 reasons. One of them is, well, 3 actually. One of them is they're a guide as to where to cut. The second one is they're also directional, so it helps you if you want to colour this. And the third one is that they're really great when we want to do embossing and shape. And as I'm working, you see those little cut lines opening up and then going back into where they need to be, and you end up with your pieces really beautifully shaped. So this piece now would tuck nicely just behind there, and look at how that fills that gap. So if I take that away and then I take it back, you can see how it fills the gap. This piece goes the other side and does exactly the same. So you can take it in front. So I've got another row of those flowers in front there, and I've just extended the hedge. Or I can come right down here and I can extend it just there. So I've got a really good way of getting extra foliage here. Now, when I just picked up that little gate, I've got 2 of these gates together. And the reason that I've got 2 of them is that they almost lock on top of each other when you've got 2 die cuts. Makes it incredibly sturdy and strong. And it also then means that I can have that as a hinged gate if I choose to. And the way that I would work with this is I would put one of them and the hinges onto this stone pillar, and they stick out just enough for us to put that hinged gate there, and then this one to go on top so that it is sandwiched between the 2 pillars, and you can lift it like that. Okay, so another little tip for you. Right, I'm going to move these out the way, and we're going to talk about getting these steps to be dimensional. So the first thing that I need to do is I'm just going to snip along the edge of the steps like this. So it's very simple, very easy to do, but it just releases that part of it. And what I've done is I'm looking at the step itself, and I'm going up the edge of the individual brickwork as if I was literally walking up the side of them. So I've now released that part of the step. We take our ruler and we're going to, I'm only using the ruler as a guide because I'm going to freehand just score along the edge of these steps. Now, so I'm just following the lines, and I'm using my embossing tool. Now this is from my my toolkit, my Craftmaster toolkit, which has interchangeable elements here. So I unscrew here and I can change the nib. I can't recommend this highly enough. It is so easy to work with, but also it's got a non-slip, a really ergonomic handle, and it also comes with blades and a pokey tool too. So now I've done that scoring, I'm going to start at the top and I'm just going to tease the design. So I'm just going to tease it using my fingers. So I'm then gonna be like this here. And do you know, you guys know that we have our producer director is talking to us, and we've got we're a really fabulous team here at Highlight Crafts. I love it because Andrew's on good form today. He's entertaining me while I'm actually doing this work. He's making it lots of fun. Right, so here we go. So I'm literally teasing these steps. Now the score line has run along where those little cut lines are. So that's a really good place to be able to get that dimension. But can you just see how I've added in that little bit of dimension to the steps? So instead of them being completely flat, I've started to get it so that we're stepping onto each element. So I'm just going to continue with this because I'd like to tease it a little bit more here. So we're getting this dimension in here, which is great, and then that piece is going to come down, and you'll see now how we're actually coming past this part of the design, and that's fine because that's the effect that we're looking for. So it's coming together absolutely perfectly. And it takes a moment to keep pushing these little steps in, getting that concertina effect so that you can see each of them as they're coming together. And now if I hold it like this, you can see how the steps are so much shorter because we're literally going to step onto each one of them. So that way we're getting some nice dimension, and we haven't lost the curve that we've got, but we've got the dimension in the design. So I'm going to place that actually here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to snip in. Now I'm snipping a little bit wide for this collection, and I'm just going to take it along the top. I'm going to take off that greenery there. I'm going to leave on the greenery just here, so I'm just going round the edge elements of it, so you can see there, and that step is going to sit just there. So now we're actually getting our steps, and by using the greenery I've been able to extend the width of those steps, and they make a little bit more sense. So I've now got this element of the fence that I haven't used, and it would be a shame not to do something with this. So I'm actually going to just snip into it just here. So I'm going to take over that bottom piece, and I'm going to take out the bricks that I've got. So just those 2 spare bricks, and I'm going to use those down here and tuck those in there. So I've extended that little bit of the design. Then going to come into another one of these, and I'm just going to extend again a little bit more. And let's take a look at which bricks we might want to use here. I think we're going to go with these ones. So I'm going to take this whole set using the little pips. They're the bridges on the paper that we use. So if I just explain to you what those bridges are, they're little tiny pieces of paper that link each of the areas together. We call that a paper bridge or a little pip. And they're the elements that are really good for us to be able to make sure it all stays together. So, whoops. So now you can see I've got my pillars in there, or I could put that so that it goes just behind, so it looks a little bit more natural. So you can see there. And then our step here. So I've actually, I've built it up from this small step to this larger one. So let's now build up the foliage at the top. So we're going to build that part there. I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to look at which way we're going to want this to go. I think we're going to pop that in there. Just going to line these up a little bit. Just take that into those areas there. So that's looking great. Happy with the way that's going. Then I'm just going to put those elements and those little bricks in. I feel I need something in here. So I'm now going to take a little bit more of that greenery and snip into it. So we'll go just into there. And so I've got these pieces now. I'm actually going to start to glue this in place because it's starting to move and I need it all to be stable. So I would always, before I plan to glue anything, always plan my design. Oh, and other things, guys, is if you think you're not going to be able to remember what you've done, take a quick photograph on your phone. Then you can have it next to you just to remind you. Okay, so I'm going to use some of my silicone. Now, the silicone will take, I use the word silicone, which is really doing this product an injustice because it's called glue gel for a reason. And that's because it doesn't smell. Whoops, I'm not going to worry that I've just dropped that because we'll get the steps to go quite a long way down. So I'm just going to wipe that off with my finger. Let's get that there. Right, okay, all good. Okay, so glue gel, it doesn't smell. It doesn't have silicone in it, so it's very, very user-friendly. And the other thing about it is, because it is so versatile, it stays wet for probably about 3/4 of an hour, or wet or certainly movable. And one of the things that I love about it is you can decide that you want to slide something underneath it, and you've got the opportunity to do that because it hasn't actually dried. So for me, if I was choosing between this or foam pads, I would 100% choose my glue gel. Okay, so I'm just now, and you can see there, I'm just going to slide that one underneath. Right, now we used bricks at the side to fill in this little gap. It does look quite cute though, doesn't it? That it's sort of like a little wonky piece of foliage and steps. And that actually there looks really great. It actually looks good. In fact, I think I prefer that to the steps. Let's just check that and see what I think, whether I'd want the stone there. No, I actually think it looks good with the other, but I now need to move this design across because to fit those on, to get that so that it's still on the page, I need to move this across. So that just shows you how versatile the glue gel is. Now, Pitflare glue gel is available on Highlight Crafts, so please check it out because if you haven't ever used it before, boy, you are going to love it, and it certainly is a favourite of ours. Okay, right, that is working perfectly. So we'll take a little bit of this, shape it just here. I'm going to slide that underneath. Now I'm looking for myself at where I've got little bits of glue gel showing, and I can see some here and I can see a little bit more there. I'm going to work on this side of the design and just finish this off. So we'll use these little pieces of stone. Let's put this one on, and then it's up to you whether you decide that you want to put the gate on or you want to leave it as it is. And what you need to be thinking about is, are you going to put a sentiment on here? If you are, you need to think about where that sentiment is going to go. Do you want to put a frame or something in the corners? So you need to be thinking about that as you're working. That's one of the reasons why it's such a good idea to lay it out beforehand. So I'm getting close to being finished here, but I feel I want to put a little bit of greenery just there because I've got that little bit of glue that I want to cover. So it's growing past the gate post, just like that. This piece that I've got here is going to just slot in there. So it's not a case of, because you chose and planned the design, if you actually, as you go along, you find something that you feel would be more effective, then do change that. And now this is the benefit of having that glue gel. I can lift that up and just move that to the front. And that, I think, is looking quite good. So let's just move that piece up, that bit across. Get that one just directed down a little So it's in position. I'm really quite happy. I like the fact I've got that wonky arch, but if you wanted to just line it up and get more dimension, we could do that. So let's just shape this up. Do what we were doing. You could use your scissors or the back of a pokey tool, whatever you've got that you use for your favourite shaping. A ball tool in particular works. And I'm just going to layer that piece up slightly off the actual original design, so I've got more dimension. And I've got this tiny piece here just to fill in. And for that one, all I'm going to do is I'm going to snip along here, get a little bit of the greenery so that it will just fill part of that gap, and that is just going to slide right in there behind the stones so that we've got it and it's a nicely balanced design. And I actually think that's perfect. And here we've got the dimension of the steps, we've got the dimension of the design, which you can see there. And that for me is our card making, and a little tiny gate. If you chose to put the gate in there, the gate's open. And so we've got a couple of choices. Once that's all dry, we could cut round the outside and have it as a freestanding card. And if I did that, I would actually cut both pieces of card. So I'd cut it double so that I could have it as a tent card. Or you could actually put this in your Scan and Cut and cut yourself a shape for that too. But whichever way you go, this undeniably is a beautiful collection.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.